we are seeing mobile impact, but probably not to the degree that I might have expected at this point. And we certainly as an agency are starting to think more about it and forcing ourselves to think more holistically about how to use mobile as part of a broader communications plan. But I think the interesting thing is that obviously what mobile affords is the social, the local, the mobile opportunity for brand to engage. And I think the people who seem to be doing it fairly well are in kind of the hospitality or financial services sector, who kind of have a retail estate or have places they want you to go to. And I think maybe it's being driven from a business point of view, from a client's perspective, more than it is from a marketing perspective. So I wonder if one of the reasons why we're not seeing a growth on the scale that I might have expected is because at the moment there's a kind of grey area between business application and marketing communications. Well, I think being able to interact with consumers at point of purchase or near point of purchase and to deliver the right kind of messaging or enable them to find out more information or get richer content about a service, a product or a brand obviously means that for an industry that has essentially been founded around creating a narrative around brands, you can now extend that narrative to the absolute magical point, which is when they make a decision. So the really exciting thing is getting our heads around that notion. And obviously things like QR codes are going to be, they're much more apparent now, but obviously I think the technologies and where things are going will just grow exponentially and enable us to think much more holistically, because I think there's still probably stigmas around holding up a mobile handset to a poster or something of that nature, or scanning a barcode in a supermarket when you're busy and you're on the go. Having said that, the ability to get richer content and more informed decision making will become, just much more of the thinking of cohorts coming into the marketing cycle now. It's hard to say why it's a fragment. I think the main reason comes back to is it a marketing communications channel or a business tool, or clearly both? And I think at the moment mobile advertising is kind of still probably perceived to be slightly niche, although of course reading Gartner figures last night, it would suggest that it's going to grow exponentially globally, particularly the US and in Europe. So I think there will be growth, it's about to happen, but I think actually it's just a better understanding of what mobile can provide, having people like Head of Innovation, for example, at our agency, thinking about mobile more holistically as part of communications, and building that into a communications or indeed a business process. I think it already is changing. I think that based on certainly the discussions are starting to happen in our agency, I think the predicted growth in spend and attention for mobile, and just the inevitable role that mobile places in our lives, can't be avoided. For instance, we do an awful lot of work with clients such as Pernod Ricard around the world, including China, and the role of a mobile there, and they've almost jumped the bit which said PC or desktop in many senses. So the cultural shifts are happening. The business opportunities are becoming more apparent, the technology is getting better, the marketing thinking will get better, and I think it's an interesting time. I think the mobile business is doing an awful lot. I think more communication about what's possible, more engagement with agencies and clients is happening. For instance, today, there was a talk by Orange, for example, about what's possible. And I think it's, the industry, the marketing communications industry, particularly on the agency side, I can speak for, is very open-minded. It wants to do new things, it wants to try new things, it wants to deliver a return on investment for clients, because that's ultimately what secures our business and our fame. So I don't think it's a question of a lack of willingness, I think it's just a lack of understanding.